Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Putri Erina Batrisha Haris and I am from Group 4.
My name is Nur Izzat Zulaika binti Razali from Group 4.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shakila Murni binti Osman and I'm from AC220B4L.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Fikri Hazi bin Ayub and I am from Group 4.
Malayan banking Berhad, or known as Maybank, was founded by Malaysian business tycoon Khor Teck Puat. It was established on 31st May 1690 and it is originally from Kuala Lumpur, to be exact at Menara Maybank, Kuala Lumpur. Maybank is the largest financial company in Malaysia. As for today, Maybank is the largest company by market capitalisation listed on the Bursa Malaysia. It is ranked first among listed Malaysian companies and among the top 500 companies in the Forbes Global 2000 leading companies of the world. Maybank is a privately held lender and it is currently over 58% state-owned and has a presence in 20 countries with a workforce of almost 50,000. Maybank offers various products and services in commercial banking, investment banking, Islamic banking, offshore banking, internet banking, leasing, hire purchase, factoring, trustee services, venture capital and insurance, with a network of more than 550 branch offices and more than 2,500 ATM machines. The company operates more than 20 branches in Singapore and Philippines and also in Brunei, Papua, Indonesia, Vietnam, New York and also London. And not to forget, Maybank also operates a number of specialized subsidiaries in the insurance, investment banking and asset management and also finance sectors. Maybank mission is to humanize financial services across Asia by providing access to financial service to the people at a fair term and pricing and to be always at the heart of the community.
Management approach, factor to consider having a segment reporting. Maybank Berhad considers certain factors to identify the business segment. The first one is nature of the business activity. It is identified by any activity carried out by an entity with the main objective of profit maximization. These four factors must be taken into consideration. The first one is the factors including nature of the product or services, which refer to type of products or services in such as in Maybank is banking and financial services, where it helps serving customer to their needs. It includes commercial banking, investment banking, Islamic banking, offshore banking, leasing and hire purchase, insurance, factoring, trustee services, asset management, stockbroking, nominee services, venture capital and internet banking. Second one is nature of the production process, which point out how the services are provided. Maybank Berhad currently providing their customers online transaction to make it easier for them. The third one is the type of class of customers for the services, which introduce them to investment, insurance, Islamic and many more. The customers include business partner, authorities and regulators NGOs, public listed companies, multinationals and institutional clients as well as SMEs, and not to forget the domestic and international parties. Lastly, the method used to provide the services. Customer can call via customer service or using an online website. Maybank has introduced Maybank to You as internet banking to its user. Type of segment. Maybank Berhad has two types of segment, which are business segment and geographical segment. The business segment is a unit of an entity that is engaged in providing product or services. Maybank's group operating or business segment are Group Community Financial Services, Group Global Banking, and Group Insurance and Takaful. The group determines and presents operating segment based on information provided to the board and senior management of the group. Provided in the table the business segment for Maybank Berhad. Geographical segment is a unit of entity engaged in providing products or services within a particular economic environment. By geographical locations, the group has operations in Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, the Philippines, Brunei Darussalam, People's Republic of China, Hong Kong, Vietnam, United Kingdom, United States of America, Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Labuan Offshore, and Thailand. Of decision making, CODM and its responsibility. operating segments are reported in a manner consistent with the internal reporting provided to the Chief Operating Decision Maker. The Chief Operating Decision Maker is a person or a group of people that is responsible to allocate resources and assess the performance of the operating segments of an entity. Maybank Group has determined the Group Executive Committee of the bank as its Chief Operating Decision Maker. All transactions between business segments, which are intra-segment, revenue and costs, are being eliminated at head office. Income and expenses directly associated with each business segment are included in determining business segment performance. The responsibility of the Chief Operating Decision Maker is to decide on the allocation of the resources and to assess the performance of the various segments in the company.
Now, I'm going to present on the process to identify the reportable segment and non-reportable segment. In accordance to MFRS 8, it states that an entity shall report separately information about each operating segment that exceeds any of the quantitative thresholds of 10% threshold test. 10% threshold test consists of 3 tests, which are revenue, where its reported revenue is 10% or more of the combined revenue, internal and external, of all operating segments. Profit or loss, where 10% or more of the total profit or loss of profit or loss making, whichever is greater in absolute amount. And also asset, where its combined assets of all operating segments is 10% or more. Information for operating segments that do not meet any of the 10% threshold requirements and are not classified as reportable segments is to be combined and disclosed as all other segments. However, the management may designate the segment to be a reportable segment if they believe that the information regarding the segment would be useful to users of the financial statements. After that, entity must do 75% test where the total external revenue of reportable segments must be at least 75% of the total external revenue of the entity. If the total external revenue reported by the operating segments identified by the size criteria is less than 75% of total external revenue, then additional segments need to be reported on until the 75% level is reached. As we can see here is the extract of segment profit as per Malayan Banking Berhad's annual report in 2021. According to the calculation shown by using the 10% threshold test, for Malayan Banking Berhad, there are 4 reportable segments identified, which are from Group Community Financial Services of 49%, 30% from Group Corporate Banking and Global Markets, 10.4% from Group Investment Banking, and 10.6% from Group Insurance and Takaful. Since Group Asset Management does not pass the 10% threshold test, it will be disclosed as other segment category in the segmental report.
After the determinations of the reportable segment, an entity must do 75% test rule in which the total external revenue of the reportable segment will be aggregated and then will be divided with the total external revenue of all segments. Since the calculation show that we have exceeded the 75%, therefore we can conclude that there are 4 reportable segments and 1 non-reportable segment. As we are constructing the new segmental report based on the calculation by using the revenue basis, 4 reportable segment consists of community financial service, corporate banking and global markets, investment banking, and asset management, which satisfy the requirements of the test will be disclosed independently. While for the group insurance and takaful will be reported as all other segments since they fail to meet the 10% threshold test requirement in accordance with the revenue basis.
As for the conclusion, we already informed that segmental report has many benefits to the firm, but every benefit must have its downfall. The benefits of having segmental reporting is it will respect decentralized business. Basically, by having segmental reporting, instead of looking and analyzing only of the company as a whole, the financial analyst can look at the sectors and the sector's head. The financial analyst can judge and point out the leadership of that sector's head too, on how they lead and manage the sectors for more efficient and better working environment. And the second one is it will provide better information for investment decision. It provides that segment information enable the financial statement users to better analyze and uncertainties related to the timing and expected cash flow. It will enhance the investor's ability to understand a diversified company and to make accurate and useful forecasts about the profitability of segment as well as the company as a whole. Every benefit has its downfall. So what is the disadvantages of having segmental reporting? The first is the difference in the basis of segmentation. A company may be divided for segment reporting purposes in terms of organization divisions, industry, market, customer, product, and others. This will reflect the difference within the company regarding the rate of profit, degree of risk, and potential for growth. And the second one is cost of segment disclosure. The provision of additional information will increase the firm's operating cost. The disclosure of profitable segment will attract competitors, while loss-making segment may become the subject to take over or put pressure on the management to sell them off. Now, let's look at the second part, which is interim reporting. As for the basis for the preparation of the interim report, there are two methods in preparing the interim report, which is integral method and discrete method. For our chosen company, which is Malayan Banking Berhad or a Maybank, the basis used is a discrete method. Discrete method treats interim accounting period in the same manner as annual period. It recognizes accrual and expenses in the period in which they are incurred. Each interim period should be treated as a separate accounting period, just like the annual period. Interim reports are meant to predict and describe the financial position and the financial performance for the discrete period, which may be a segment of the annual period. FAR570 describes that revenue and expenses items are to be measured and recognized in the same way that annual financial statements are prepared as per discrete method. However, for certain annual revenue or expenditures such as tax, it is best to consider the estimated income or expenditure for the whole year in order to determine the amount to be recognized in the interim report. So, the policy used in the interim report of Maybank Berhad is, the first one is FAR570, property, plant and equipment. Property, plant and equipment are stated at a cost less accumulated depreciation and accumulated impairment losses. Costs include expenditure that is directly attributable to the acquisition of the item. Moreover, the subsequent costs are to be included in the asset carrying amount and recognized as a separate asset only if it is probable that future economic benefit associated with the asset will flow to the bank and the cost of the item can be measured reliably. The carrying amount of the replaced part is de-recognized. All the other repair and maintenance costs are recognized as expense in statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income during the financial period which they are incurred. The second accounting policy used is FAR16, leases. Under FAR16, a lease is a contract or part of a contract that convey the right to control the use of an identified asset for a period of time in exchange for consideration. FAR16 also highlight the classification of leases by the lessee as either finance lease or operating lease. FAR16 require a lessee to recognize a right of use asset or ROU asset of the underlying asset and a lease liability reflecting future lease payment for most leases.
Malayan Banking Berhad prepared condensed financial statement, and the interim reports prepared by Malayan Banking Berhad are issued quarterly. The unaudited condensed financial statements are prepared starting from 1st January 2021 and the reports are prepared up to 4th quarter. A set of condensed financial statements prepared by a company should include a minimum of all of headings and subtotals that was included in its most recent annual financial statements and selected explanatory notes as required by the standards. The company also need to present the basic and diluted earnings per share on the face of the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income. The report should also be prepared on a consolidated basis if the most recent annual financial statement was a consolidated statement. As for Malayan Banking Berhad, they prepared an unaudited condensed statement of profit or loss, and unaudited condensed statements of comprehensive income, an unaudited condensed statement of financial position, an unaudited condensed consolidated statement of changes in equity, and an unaudited condensed statement of cash flow in their interim financial report.
Period for the current and comparative of each segment prepared by the company. Malayan Banking Berhad will end their report on 31st December each year. The current and comparative period for each segment prepared by the company, according to MFRS 134 interim financial reporting, will be measured from 1st January 2021 until 30 June 2021, in which it corresponds to the second interim quarter in Malayan Berhad in 2021. For the statement of financial position, at the end of current interim reporting period is 6 months, starting from 1st January 2021 until 30 June 2021. And the comparative of the SOFP of the immediately preceding period of financial year is 12 months, from 1st January 2020 until 31st December 2020. For the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income for the current interim period of 6 months, from 1st January 2021 until 30 June 2021. The cumulative SOPL for the current financial year to date reporting period is 6 months, from 1st January 2021 until 30 June 2021. The comparative SOPL of current reporting period is 6 months, from 1st January 2020 until 30 June 2020. Lastly, the comparative SOPL of the immediately preceding financial year to date reporting period is 6 months, from 1st January 2020 until 30 June 2020. As for the statement of changes in equity and statement of cash flow, will have exactly the same reporting period and reporting date. The cumulative for statement of changes in equity and cash flow is 6 months, from 1st January 2021 until 30 June 2021, while the comparative for statement of changes in equity and cash flow is also 6 months, starting from 1st January 2020 until 30 June 2020.
Alright, we move to the last part of the video where we propose two adjustments as well as show the effect on the interim report. The adjustments are as shown here. First, on 3rd January 2021, Malayan Banking Berhad has acquired newly Toyota van version 1.6 for the purpose of the employees' mobility, amounted Rm216,000 ringgit, with the estimated useful life of 10 years. This van is being depreciated by using the straight line basis method. Second, on 2nd January 2021, Malayan Banking Berhad has issued new ordinary share to their shareholders amounting to 1 million units at a price of Rm60 per unit as a way to raise their capital. As per the adjustment above, there will be alterations to both amount of non-current asset as well as the equity. For the non-current asset, entity is required to recognize the PPE, property, plant and equipment, after deducting the depreciation. Therefore, the new amount of the non-current asset will be 908,953,200 ringgit Malaysia. While for the equity, there will be an additional of 600 ringgit which accumulated to the new amount of their equity, which is 51,714,581,000 ringgit Malaysia.